So in the last video we wrapped up by cleaning this up and installing the rebuild kit in there. What's going to be coming up in the future, I got about 3 different carburetor / intake setups I'm going to be trying on this 283. What I want to do is put a number on what this carburetor flows in terms of CFM. That's mainly what we're going to be doing in this video. It's been quite a while since I've run my flow bench. It needs a little bit of work to it, not a lot, some repairs that I've been putting off for a long time. I realize that working on the equipment out here isn't the most popular subject, but it's something I need to do and we need to get through before we can get this flowed, but we'll get this flowed in this video. So let me show you what I need to do to the flow bench to get it working. So this is the top of the flow bench, and over here to the side I've got 3 different monometers. That one up there is the one I've been using for quite a while to do the, I measure the pressure drop through the Venturi, and that's where I get my flow numbers, calculate my flow numbers from. That one there has a limited range on it, and I put this manometer here for higher flow rates, even though it's turned out since I built this that I don't really use that very much. This manometer here measures the pressure drop inside of this box. When you hear people say we measured the cylinder heads at 28 inches of water, the pressure drop inside of this box would be 28 inches of water. So the difference between the atmospheric pressure out here and the pressure inside the box would be 28 inches of water. I use that manometer there to measure that pressure drop. Now, what's happened, the way I made this, and I can't remember what material I used, but that's basically just like a clear plastic tube right there. Now, I can't remember what that material was made out of, and what's happened over the years, and we'll see if we can even see it, but you can see like right there how it's cracked there, and like basically it's cracked in a lot of different places, and I tried a few different ways to try to get it not crack, because it seemed like it was doing it near the ends where I was hooking up the hoses to it. I put an aluminum insert in there to try to get it to stop, but it just keeps cracking, and it does it down here at the bottom too, and I fixed that down there a couple of times, and it just keeps cracking. So, and I did some looking around to find a replacement for that, even in like glass, but I steered away from glass because it's quite brittle and it just might break easily, and it wasn't too cheap either. So I didn't do a ton of searching around for a replacement for this. And the other thing I'll say is that the plastic pieces that I was finding were expensive too, because it's like 4 feet long. I needed them 4 feet long. I found some 1-foot sections of it for a lot less, but that means I need to piece them together. The material that I got to replace this with is made out of PETG. And what I use for manometer fluid inside of this is actually like it's antifreeze, but it's got a very similar, I know what the specific gravity of it is, and I account for that in the spreadsheet where I calculate the flow numbers. The next thing to do is just go make some fittings, probably on the 3D printer, to put those pieces together. So that's what I got to do today, and we just got to do that real quick before I put the carburetor on the flow bench and test it. I'm going to be doing it 1 barrel at a time like I did before on the other carburetor, which seemed to work out all right. So let me go print off a few pieces, get them designed, and we can go from there. Alright, so here's the tubes that I got. And these ones weren't too expensive. I can't remember how much they were, but I think it was like less than $20 for a package of 16 of them, which isn't too bad. And like I said, this stuff's supposed to be made out of PETG. Should tolerate being around antifreeze pretty well. So what I need to do, these are a little bit more than 12 inches long, and I need about 4 feet altogether, so I need to have something to connect the two together like that, and that shouldn't be too bad. It's just going to be like a sleeve that goes around the outside of it. So let me get one of those coming, and we'll try it out. I did a bunch of work on this, trying to get these manometers put back to, working better. The problem I ran into is these 3D printed parts apparently leak in between the layers, which I wasn't anticipating happening, and did that on a couple of parts. So I'm a little disappointed in the way all that turned out. It doesn't leak terrible, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get through this test today, and I'll have to come up with something different for that later. I don't know what it's going to be. But I got the carburetor set up over here, so we can measure that real quick. And I just want to get that done and move on, because I'm tired of messing with this for now. So let me get the flow bench running. I tested it out there, and I came up with about 208 CFM on that. So, and that's at 1.5 inches of mercury. Sometimes 2 barrels are measured at 3 inches of mercury, but I'm going to be comparing the flow of this to other 4 barrels. And because of that, 4 barrels are generally flowed at 1.5. So that's the way I did that. So at any rate, going forward, I got more work to do on those monometers again. Anyway, that's about all I got for this week, and I'll see you next time.